So welcome to the first webinar. Those of you who were attending our webinars last year know what it is about for other participants, because I see some names that we know. For other participants, I will briefly just outline what it is about. So Atlas project, Horizon 2020 project, is running an open call now. We are looking for innovative solutions for agriculture, and this webinar we are holding to introduce Atlas in details for you and provide you with all the insights we have so far, and you will meet and have opportunity to ask questions to our winners of the first open call. So their insights are at most value, I think, for you. Most of the time we will devote to answer your questions. So please feel free to ask any questions, any particular detailed related to your case or general questions. You are very welcome. And the first word I will give to our coordinator of the entire project, Stefan Rehling, who will walk you through, who will present Atlas and walk you through a bit of technical details. Stefan, please.
Thank you very much, Tamara. So also welcome from my side. Thanks for joining our first webinar on the Atlas Open Calls. So as already said, my name is Stefan Rehling. I work as a researcher at Fraunhofer Institute for Intelligent Analysis and Information Systems. And I'm coordinating the Atlas project together with my colleagues here at Fraunhofer. As already said, we are a Horizon 2020 research project dealing with interoperability for the digital agriculture. The project has started in October 2019. So we are running for more than 1.5 years now. And we have a lot of things to do in Atlas. A lot of topics are covered, going from plain research, development of algorithms, over the development of system architecture, up to field tests and also standardization, exploitation activities. So it's the whole program, so to say. Consortium is quite large. It's 30 partners and a multitude of linked third parties, mainly from the agricultural machinery industry. In this project, partners from 7 European countries. And it's about 1,500 person months of work in this project. And one particular aspect of Atlas is that we want to attract more companies, and for this we provide some funding to these companies to implement their solutions or to integrate their solutions into Atlas. And we do this through open calls. We already have conducted one round of open calls. We have chosen 6 winners from this round, and we have today 2 of them also in here. They are for sure happy to answer all your questions. We have now started the next round of open calls. And so in this series of webinars, we would like to show a little bit more in detail what Atlas is about and what we are doing there and what we expect from participants in the open calls. So what I'm now trying to do is to share my. So what I'm going to show you here is mainly the technical details of the Atlas interoperability network, which is the core of the Atlas technical solutions. So looking, or as we are only have a limited amount of time, we decided to do it like this, because all of the information about what Atlas does in whole, how the consortium is built up, what are the deliverables, etc., that can be found on the website also. So we are going directly into the details and the motivation behind the project. So the situation is, and I think all of you know that farming is quite complex nowadays, and that farmers have a lot of things to manage. You see it here. It goes from the usual soil management, crop and yeah, planting, plant protection over livestock farming, but also to things like water management, energy management, and also sustainability, landscape and nature conservation. So it's a lot of things which have to be done on a modern large farm, and this is usually already done to a large extent by the help of digital systems, of software systems. So there are nowadays already a lot of tools in use on modern farms, and this will probably increase in the future as I think whole society is becoming more and more digitized, and farming is a good candidate for this, to increase digital technology. So one example from one of our consortium partners, it's a farm using seven different software systems. So this is the scenario we have, and what we also have is, especially in Europe, is a multi-vendor fleet operation. So you have multiple machines from different manufacturers, and they are in use on one farm. And one main issue we have today with all these software solutions is interoperability. So you have lots of machines, you have all kinds of sensors you could use on a farm, on your operation. You have a multitude of data platforms, but when it comes to exchanging data between these systems, it can become a very difficult task to solve, and this is exactly where Atlas kicks in. So what we want to achieve in Atlas is an improved interoperability between such systems, interoperability between sensors, between data and analysis platforms, and between agricultural machinery. And for this interoperability, we see the possibility to exchange data between these systems as a key capability for interoperability. And Atlas has developed in the last 1.5 years concepts to solve this interoperability problem. And the basic principle behind this is that we want to create mechanisms which rely on standardized and extensible interfaces for data exchange, so that you can easily exchange data between sensors, machines, and analysis platforms. And what we have is now a high-level reference architecture which specifies the basic interoperability building blocks. You see it here on the right side, the image, which depicts the main components of the Atlas interoperability network. And what we have are two basic concepts which complement each other. So on the first level, we want to solve the problem of exchanging data between data platforms. You can think about there for example, about a farm management system exchanging data with a sensor data platform. Everything is in the cloud online, and you want to interconnect these systems. And the other thing is that if you go to the edge of the network in a barn or on a machine, you also want to have data processing capabilities and a connection to the cloud. And for this, we have a concept which is denoted here as App Engine, which allows you to run software on board of a machine or in a barn, and providing processing capabilities to that machine, and also a connection to the interoperability network. So these are the two concepts we have here. And technically, we solve this by interconnecting all these entities here through services. And these services participate in the network, which is made up of the endpoints of these entities and some central components, which you see here. So you have one registry, for example, for services, which serves as a directory for participants, where you can then register services and find services. So this, you can compare that as kind of a telephone book where you can look up addresses and telephone numbers. Then the other central component is the so-called equipment center. It's also a central management platform where you see your machines and your different app engines. We have a unified view of your equipment, and where you can manage apps running on these specific app engines. And the app engine is in the end the computing platform which provides a runtime environment for applications. So you can think about there something similar to your smartphone. So you have a device where you can run apps on. You have an app store where you can manage your apps. So this is the equivalent to the equipment center. As I already said, services are the basic means to exchange data, and services provide a defined and standardized interface to access data and to exchange data. So this interface, this standardized interface, is called in the Atlas world a service template. The service template describes semantically related agricultural or technical functions and provides information about the API, about parameters, and the data format specification. And so to make your solution Atlas ready, what you have to do for this is to implement a standardized Atlas service connecting your system to the rest of the network. And when you do that, you are a participant of the Atlas network. So a participant is a defined legal entity providing software systems, and these software systems offering one or multiple services. And such software systems could then in the end have a multitude of different users. You see it here on the right side on the image. First example, that's a farm management information system connecting with a machinery platform and the service registry, which holds information about participants, so the company, so to say, offering the services, and the related services. And what to do in this example with the farm management system, which is Atlas ready, which implements a task service client in this example, you can then choose from the service registry amongst a multitude of participants offering such a task service. And then you can choose the one you want to use from that service registry and connect your instance of the farm management information system or your account on that farm management information system with your account you hold on the according machinery platform you have chosen. And then once you have done that, what we call a pairing of services, you are ready to exchange the data. So this is the basic principle. technically, what we use here to a large extent are OAuth flows. And you can compare it a little bit to functionality you have with social login. So you use your Facebook account to log into other systems, or your Amazon account to log into other online shops and pay there. So see it a little bit like this. Yeah, this is actually a little bit more detail what participant softwares and services and service consumers are doing. Takeaway message here is that services are provided by participants. Services implement a specific service template and are thus standardized. And participant is a provider of a software system of, for example, a cloud-based platform, which could hold a multitude of different user accounts. And then you pair services and service clients on behalf of or you enable the data exchange between a service consumer and a service on behalf of a specific user. Yeah, participants are identified legal entities. So if you want to register in the Atlas Registry, if you want to become a member of the Atlas Interoperability Network, you as a participant have to be listed in that Atlas Registry. And what we also have there is are some basic validation functions which validate your service, which check if your service is compliant to a specific template, and which hold all the information needed to pair services. And what you then have in the end, if everything is populated, if the registry is populated with a multitude of participants, you have a completely decentralized service network with only a minimum of central components, and in this respect only the service registry, and each participant is autonomous, and the user of each participant's platform is responsible for giving the consent of sharing the data with another platform. And besides the platform-based data exchange via services, as already said, we also provide a possibility to bring computing capability to the edge of the network. So, for example, on a machine, but also providing connection from this edge component to the rest of the Atlas Interoperability Network. And what you see here is a visualization of that concept. So you have, for example, a tractor, which is equipped with a multitude of sensors. Also something we are developing in Atlas is such multi-sensor systems. And this multi-sensor system is connected to the onboard processing system, which runs the app engine, where you could then upload specific apps. And these apps then do something with the data produced by the sensors, for example, generating maps depicting the growth state of a plant while driving with a tractor over it, or controlling an implement. And but these maps, these apps are also connected to a service in the cloud, which can then be used to exchange data with the cloud, and which can then be connected to the rest of the interoperability network. These apps, they run in the app engine, that is, so to say, a more or less operating system of these apps. Compare it to Android or iOS. And this app engine provides then also APIs to connect, for example, to the machinery data bus via ISA bus, or provides an API to access a multitude of different sensors, which could then be, for example, then be used to connect the multi-sensor box to an app. And as I said, each app comes with a cloud-based companion service, which is then registered in the service registry. So to summarize that, so Atlas is dealing with interoperability. What we have already done is we defined that reference architecture, and we already implemented the central components service registry and participant portal. These two things are almost ready and will go online within the next, it's a matter of weeks, I would say 2 or 3 weeks. Then we are there and it could be used by the public. The means to exchange data is standardized services. We are already in the position to have some services also ready and registered in the service registry. Atlas is also providing a solution for bringing interoperability to the edge of the network, the possibility to run dedicated apps on such a app engine. All implementations we do in Atlas are conducted along a concrete use cases. So what we do in Atlas is a so-called large-scale pilot study. So everything we implement will be tested in the field. And for this, we have a multitude of partners, real farmers, research institutions having farms or test sites, and that will be hopefully within the course of this year. We have the first demonstrators ready in the field to show the potential of that technology. So that's it. Thank you very much for your attention, and I think we can
Thank you.
Thank you, Stefan. Questions.
Yes, please. I would like to ask audience to ask questions now, because Stefan has to leave in a few minutes. So please use this chance to ask him anything you like about the Atlas. We also have today Malco Caballero, our expert from AgriCircle. He knows a lot about service architecture, so you will have a chance to ask your questions later on regarding the service architecture. And we also have, as Stefan already mentioned, 2 our winners, our previous winners, Marco Bezzi, who won with Blue Tentacles solution, and Wojciech Serg with eVineyard solution. Yes, I don't see questions to you, Stefan. Thank you very much. Sorry, there is one. What should a participant achieve during the time of the open call? I think that's that means during the time of the implementation, right?
I suppose it is like this, and I mean,
yes, in terms of integration, yes.
Yeah. I mean, what we expect from open call participants is, I mean, we have these topics for open calls where you could apply for. So that means if you apply for such a topic, you probably have a solution which somehow covers the aspect of this topic. So you already have something in a state which could be used. Ideally, you already have such a platform or something similar. So what we then expect is, and that's why we give out the funding, is that you make your solution Atlas ready. That means that you implement dedicated services which enable the access to your solution through other participants of the Atlas network, so that you participate in the Atlas interoperability network, that you provide services there which could be consumed by other participants. So to say that would be the expected outcome of such a project.
Okay, very good, thank you.
And maybe one addition. So what you get is the chance to shape the standards for such services, because I mean we have some use cases in Atlas, or we have a lot of them, but we do not cover all the agricultural domain, and so we rely on external expertise, and you as a participant then in the open calls, you have for sure a lot of expertise for your very specific field. And if you are then offering a service of a specific type, you have the chance to shape the standard of such a service, to shape the API, to shape the data formats used in there. And you can contribute then to such standardized services.
Okay, thank you. There is additional question from Nikita. Is there an experimental field where you test those? Yes, we have 13 pilot sites, farming operations, and you can test your solution, right? Thank you, Stefan. There is another question. Who should I talk to present our platform, from Pedro? I think you shouldn't talk to anyone, just apply for our call. And there is a comprehensive application questionnaire where you can present, and you can upload any videos, any visual means, and you can present properly your platform. So that's the only way we can consider your use case. Right, I see another kind of very long one from Natalia. You have talked about interoperability between apps that manage the process for sales. Do you also admit projects that go further in the chain and contemplate the digitalization of commercialization activities? For example, sales, traceability, management of logistics. Can you answer this, Stefan?
Actually, I don't see the question in the chat.
It's in. I can put it in the chat.
Yeah,
it's in the. It's quite a long one. The question is, do we accept the use cases that deal with so more management tools, as far as I understood it?
I mean, we would have to see the solution. I mean, I would say, as long as it fits somehow in the open call topics, and what I see here is something like it could fit into from farm to fork challenge 4. So if you say you have some management tools there, which are maybe cloud-based, I don't know this. If it's about marketing, it's about sales, I see traceability of probably agricultural products, I would say it could fit in. But I mean, we need to see what you want to do, what you have, what you want to achieve, and how you want to integrate it into Atlas. But I think if you look on the website, select one of the challenges where you think it fits in, then I would say it's worth a try to convince us.
All right, thank you. I know, Stefan, that you have to leave now. And thank you very much for your time and for your presentation. I'm sure
thanks
our
for your interest. I mean, we have our other Atlas experts which are for sure happy to answer more questions. So, and yeah, next webinar I will be there for the whole time, promised.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. So Stefan is leaving, and we have a few more questions. Next one, what would be the project duration? The project itself will end in March 2023. But the open call, if you meant the open call duration, the deadline is 1st of September this year. So you have over 3 months to apply, if that was the question. So there are a few more questions. I would ask then Marco, and Matic to join me in answering those questions. Giulio from Escarda is developing a laser-based weeding system. We want to create a prototype for one of our use cases. Can we propose prototypes crop specific? Malco, what would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with a crop-specific prototype at all.
Exactly, we have a specific challenge.
The interesting thing is more in the interoperability aspect, that you can ideally demonstrate whatever you do in the context of an exchange between a system that consumes what you produce, basically, right? Because if it stands there on its own doing nothing else, it doesn't really illustrate the benefits of the Atlas interoperability network.
Right. Okay, thank you very much. I see more administrative questions, where to find this information or that information. So what I will do, I will briefly walk you through the audience, walk you through our website, where to find more information about Atlas. First of all, the technical, the service architecture specification. I will ask colleagues, please let me know if my screen can be seen now.
Yes, the website.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. So service architecture specification you can find on the dedicated web page, open call. So here is the information on how to apply, what will be provided by Atlas. Here is the manual, video manual on how to do it. So the button, when you click the button apply now, it will forward you to an electronic submission form where you can provide all the details about your solution, complete the application form, and so on. Here you see the all the challenges we have. We have 5 challenges this year. When you click on each challenge, you see the description, you see what we expect from you as an outcome. So there was a related question to that as well. So besides, you can see the FAQ section, where we gathered the most common questions from you from last year, and clicking on the plus, you will see our answers. So you will get lots of information from here. You can meet our winners here and also connect with them informally and ask any questions. I'm sure they are open to any of your questions. Yes, so that's I think quite explanatory. Right, what other questions do we have? Just a second. Backbone sample application source code for the for the Atlas App Engine to start our own development. I think it's more a question to you, Malcolm, if you can answer it. Is there a sample or backbone application source code for the Atlas App Engine to start our own development?
No, not at this moment, but we might actually, one of the first use cases that will be implemented on that might be published. I mean, essentially, the App Engine will actually be an Android operating system, so you will have the normal Android SDK at your disposal. In addition to that, Stefan's group actually is developing an API that gives apps access to tractor information as it's running, so that you can influence the behavior of the tractor or get some readings from it and react in real time to it. But for the rest, it would be a normal Android application.
Okay, great, thank you. So that was a question from Piotr. He he posted elaboration and then said that he received answer to his second question. Very good. So I saw here a question regarding the greenhouse farming. Yes, it is relevant, right? Marco, what would you say? So we are open to greenhouse farming solutions.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. I mean, obviously, it would need to be a bit more specific, but the area is clearly relevant, yes.
Very good, thank you. So there is a question, how many projects apply for each challenge? On average, that's very different. Last year, we had like 4 proposals for one challenge and 35 for another. So that's very diverse, but we are not looking for equal distribution per challenge. So if we see very bright proposals, more bright proposals for one challenge than for another, so that won't stop us. Right. Are startups that were recently established eligible candidate? Yes. So any companies that legally established regardless of the time of existence, so to say. All right. So I don't see any new questions so far. I would kindly ask Marco to briefly introduce your solution and which won the open call, and just provide a few insights, I would say, if you a few pieces of advice on how to win the open call.
Thank you, Tamara.
If you have slides, so you can share them.
Okay, I don't have any slide, but I can speak. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Oh, okay, that's perfect. So I'm Marco Bezzi. I'm CEO of Blue Tentacles. Blue Tentacles is a precision irrigation solution, and we are focused on the revamping of all the irrigation systems. So we provide to farmers a complete solution based on hardware and software. That means IoT and AI. And I think that the participation in Atlas project it is really relevant for us, since I think that the next challenge in agritech is really the interoperability. So it's a great chance for us to start working together with a European partner with testing different technology. And I really suggest you to submit the application. The application is not so difficult. It's quite easy to apply for Atlas project. And I think that is a great advance for the support of the consortium in the project and for the network that you could establish with the other startup working in the project. So I'm open to any question. If you want to write me, probably Tamara could give the email. So just write me or contact me if I can give my feedback from my point of view as startup working in this project.
Great, thank you very much, Marco. Yes, I will not share your email address, but any participant can find you on our webpage under Venus 2020. Please feel free to contact Marco. As he said, he is open to any questions. If you have any questions now, please write them. I will ask Marco then. Then I will ask Matic to do the same, to introduce. Please, Matic, introduce your
Yeah, thank you, Tamara.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, very well.
Okay,
We
perfect.
don't see you, but we can hear you very well.
Okay, yeah, I'm actually on a mobile device and I don't know how to turn on the camera, but okay, I will just
No
try
problem
to
at all. No problem. Okay.
try to explain it. So yeah, my name is Matic Serk from the company Elmibit. We are the software provider of eVineyard. eVineyard is a vineyard management software, and what we are working on is the challenge of asset tracking. So we are mapping very precisely down to the vine level the vineyards, and then tracking different assets in those vineyards. And yeah, this is the area in Atlas that we are working. So eventually we will provide some kind of maps as well as information about things such as, for example, yield maps and so on to the other solutions that are a part of Atlas. Similarly, like Marco already mentioned, also for us, the interoperability is a big thing because we usually at some point encounter the need to integrate with some other system. And from that perspective, really Atlas is addressing this point in an attempt to also standardize this connectivity, which on the long run will definitely be of a big benefit. And yeah, that's the thing. So I would also encourage everyone who is thinking about applying, if you have a solution that can get interconnected, can produce some interesting data for the other solutions or the other actors in the agri-tech, is definitely a great opportunity. So same like with Marco. If there are any questions also towards me, feel free to check with Tamara, and Tamara, please just forward. I'll be happy to to chat.
Thank you very much, Matic. Thank you very much. So you see that our winners and our experts are very open. So you please feel free to contact us with any questions you have. And even if you found a general answer on the website or heard during the presentation, but you have a specific question or you want to check something to be sure that you got it right, so don't be afraid to ask twice or 3 times. That's not a problem at all. So there is another question, if there is a recommended structure of the consortium. The thing is that for our open call, only single applicants are eligible. So you can't build a consortium to apply for the Atlas open call. So we only consider single applicants. You will be allowed to hire subcontractors under the 20% of your budget limit, but so no consortium allowed, unfortunately. Yeah, or fortunately, I don't know. Right, I don't see any other questions so far. If I missed any questions here, please let me know. But I don't think so. Malko, do you have anything to add probably to what Stefan said, or
well, not really. I mean, obviously Stefan gave a very condensed overview and there's a lot of details, but I think that the trick there is to go through the architecture. If you have any additional questions based on that as to how your solution could fit there, that's something that that can be sent, and we will find a way to answer you. But other than that, I don't want to drown your details at this early stage.
Okay, very good. There is another question. I personally don't know how to answer it. Should the open calls use cases be linked with an Atlas large-scale pilot? A large-scale?
Actually, it's not a requirement. I mean, as I mentioned, the idea would be, we would prefer use cases that are linked with something, so that not just produce some value in the absolute and have no one in the Atlas environment consuming it, but you can also provide, a small use case just to illustrate the core technology you bring in, and to, illustrate how a link with, semi-mocked or an experimental client could be done. But if there were a way to link it with some of the other services or use cases we have, I mean, it's definitely something that we can assist you in. If you see an opportunity there, it would be very nice, but it's not a requirement.
Okay, very good, thank you. So I would recommend in general, so everyone who is interested to apply for the open call, go to the web page, or at least to learn more about the Atlas. Go to the web page, study all the information there, and get back to us with your questions. And of course, we encourage you strongly to apply. You have plenty of time, and you are able to get back to your proposal anytime before the deadline, so you can work on it online on the platform. After applying, when can we expect the final results? Yeah, thank you, the very good question. So the deadline is 1st of September. We expect the short list of finalists, and then at the end of October, the beginning of November, and the winners will be announced end of November, beginning of December. So that's the timeline. Right. So I also saw the question about the recording of this webinar. Yes, it will be available on the Atlas YouTube channel tomorrow, and also all the registered participants will receive the recording with the follow-up emails. So you can go through the Stefan's presentation and listen to the questions again. Right, so then I don't see any more questions. I would like to thank you, Marco, and Matic. Thanks a lot for your time. Thank you for participation and answering our questions. And thank you for being open for further discussions. We highly appreciate that. I thank you all the participants for being that active. Thank you very much, and we are looking forward to your proposals.